.NET over those couple of days and all the new stuff that's in .NET Core 2.0. So you can check it out at .NETconf.net, and we will see you there. Next, let's jump into .NET Core 2.0. I think .NET Core 2.0 is the kind of the first real release. We shipped .NET Core 1.0 last summer, and it was a great version, but it had preview tooling, and we got feedback from customers that all the APIs were not there. And so .NET Core 2 kind of roughs over all the rough edges. And the coolest thing is, as part of .NET Core 1.0, we talked about how ASP.NET Core was one of the fastest web frameworks on the planet. We've made .NET even faster in .NET Core 2.0. So now we're about, a web app is about 20% faster depending on how you run it. Dan Roth's going to talk about that a little bit later today. More APIs. One of the biggest feedbacks we got on .NET Core 1.0 was, hey, a lot of my favorite APIs, the old .NET APIs I'm used to, things like data sets, are not. So now if you want to build an Angular app with ASP.NET Core or a React app with ASP.NET Core, those are all in the product. More distros. One of the cool features of .NET Core is the fact that we are multi-platform. It runs on Windows, Mac, and Linux. We've added a whole bunch more Linux distros in .NET Core 2, and even better, for a developer, we have the ability to target generic Linux, and that means you can actually run .NET Core 2 on most Linuxes without even installing a specific version for that particular Linux. Simplified packaging. If you followed us in .NET Core 1.0, we broke the framework into a lot of packages, thinking that would be a great way to update all those individual pieces separately. But ends up being that it was too hard for us, and it's too hard for you. You don't want to have to reference all these individual packages and find out, guess which APIs are in which packages. And so now we made it very simple. In ASP.NET, you reference one package. For .NET Core, you reference one package, and you're good to go. We have new and improved Visual Studio tooling. We'll do some demos of that a little bit later on, but much better tooling. And we have DS for Mac. You can run the same stuff in Visual Studio for Mac. So let's also talk about this is exciting. A couple days after we Red Hat will have the Red Hat version of .NET Core 2.0 as well. And they have a great no-cost developer license that you can grab at the URL here to try .NET Core 2.0 on Red Hat. So I'm really excited to have Red Hat following us so quickly into the 2.0 wave. Let's talk about the open source aspect of .NET. This is one of the things that really excites me is 2 years ago when we first started saying we're going to open source .NET Core, we had no idea what the reaction was going to be. Was the community going to come join us and help grow .NET? And the cool thing is they really have. If you look at this chart, you can see the amount of pull requests by the community over the months. We're at a point now where about half of our pull requests are actually from the community. And even better, you can see that we've had a bunch of cool companies embrace us because of this. Samsung is building their Tizen platform for their televisions, their mobile devices, and their appliances and wristwatches on .NET Core. So you can actually use .NET to program all those things. We have Illiard Games. They moved a game. They were building their own web server in .NET. And they recognized one day that we were trying to make .NET Core super high performance. And so instead of trying to build a competing web stack, they actually came and helped us make .NET Core way, way faster. And so when you see the Tech Empower benchmark, where we scored really well last November, Illiard Games helped us a whole bunch. And you can see here as well, we have a foundation, a .NET Foundation by big people in the industry. You can see we have Red Hat, Samsung, JetBrains, Unity, and Google that are all participants in. So it's the open source thing has been great for .NET. Now let's talk about .NET Standard. This is my favorite part of .NET Core and .NET and even Xamarin. And when we started working on .NET Core a couple years ago, one of the challenges we had with .NET was there's lots of .NETs. There's .NET Framework, there's Xamarin, there was .NET Core, Mono. There's lots of .NETs out there in the world, and they each had different sets of APIs. And so we said, as the .NET team, let's stop this. We want .NET to be consistent across all platforms. And so just like HTML5 is a specification for web applications, .NET Standard is a specification for .NET.